this thing. G'day folks, we're back here a week later. We're gonna do a quick look through the hives. After that other video I did in editing, I kind of thought it might be a good idea to throw a double or to throw another brood chamber on top here. And it seems like I'd peeked under it a couple times and the bees were already up there working away, so that was good. I'm interested in seeing what the two center ones did, the ones that we seen as a little bit weaker. So anyways, let's dig into here and we'll see what's what. Probably don't need my veil today. We'll assess it after the first hive. But it's kind of cool today. I don't know how much the bees are actually really out. Give a little smoke in the entrance. I'm gonna have to sprinkle something underneath this inner cover, keep the ants out of it. Alright. I'm gonna move this camera. So maybe you could see on the top of these, I wrote what they were. These two here were drawn comb that was from someone else's honey super. So we'll see if they've done anything much. Nothing on this one yet. Loads of bees down below. Nothing on that one. Nothing on that one either. So they're putting a little nectar in this one. Not overly much, but they've cleaned up the comb and made it look a little more uniform. It was pretty torn, beaten up. But it's nice to see the bees up here working away. They're drawing out some comb on this one. It's nice to see. They've pretty well stopped consuming sugar water. The bee looks a little mad. Not sure what his deal is. Okay, they're putting honey in this one. I didn't really want them to put honey here, but oh well. The reason I say I didn't want them putting honey here is I'm hoping to get a walkaway split. I realize it'll be extremely late in the year, but you can always hope. So they're on this side, they're just starting to make a little comb. So they haven't really done too much. Be interesting to see what they've done in the lower box, but if they're glued together. Ooh. Kind of made them a little less happy. So there's really no reason for me to be in here other than I'm actually basically just practicing. I'm going to put the camera down a bit. Smoke these guys a little bit. So I'm not going to go right into the core. I just want to see if there's any if I need to switch around these outside ones a little bit. For having a week's worth working on that second brood chamber or honey soup or whatever you want to call it, I kind of wonder what they've been doing. Ooh, that's tight. They're kind of putting some honey on this one, some brood chamber or brood here. Just gonna set that down for now. Bit of nectar. And empty. Sort of wanted them to be doing a bit more. It's mostly just kind of got a ticked off bee here. It's mostly just a frame of drone comb. After watching the video, I see I probably should have taken that frame that's right one frame closer to the camera and moved it into the second brood chamber. Got this real big fat comb right here, and it makes things a bit miserable. So what that would have done is it has a bit of brood on it, and if I put it in the second brood chamber, it would have given more space and also would have brought some nurse bees up into that second brood chamber and maybe help make things a little more free. So here I got some capped honey, some brood, I got larvae on this side, some drone comb over here. Well, fairly overly uneventful. So hive number one is kind of meh. Expected to see a little more boom. It was had a couple hot days there. It seems like we should be in a nectar flow, so we'll check out this next one here. So this is the hive I kind of worried about robbing. So last time it seemed like everything was on this side of the hive, on this side towards me. So I shuffled a bunch of stuff around, hoping to even it out. Hey little bee. Goodness. So we got capped honey, a whole bunch of open cells. So I kind of feel like we should be, like all these things should be full of eggs. I don't know why a queen hasn't laid in anything. I'm not entirely sure what's up with that. It's a bunch of dead bees with their heads stuck in the hole. So I'm feeling like I need to find some eggs today, or I'm gonna kind of wonder what's going on here. So we got beautiful comb ready for laying and nothing really going on. So we got larvae, bit of capped brood, tiny larvae. Hey, it's me again. I just looked at the last video, and this frame in my hand had basically nothing in it. Just there was, in the last video, there's a little bit of honey, capped honey in those top corners that's been reduced, but I didn't see any eggs or anything. So things are looking a little better, I think. So we'll carry on with the video. So here we have a big pile of kind of brood, but not the best looking pattern, I don't think. It's real big. We got larvae coming in the middle. Hey, I put up two pictures here from last week of both sides of the frame. You can see that there's been a big hatch in the meantime, and the queens laid eggs back and larvae started. So bye. Tiny larvae. So we got more coming. Feels like we had a bit of a hatch. Feels like there's more bees in here now. It's just I'd like to. There's a lot of open cells that could be being used for growing this hive that just don't seem to be. Wouldn't surprise me if the queen's on here. Whoop. Are you on here, queen? Lots of capped brood. There she is. So there's no mark on her at all. Dead center. She's supposed to be painted yellow, but there's no yellow on her. So we'll get her back in here. I'm going to put this one right in the middle. So this middle one is half honey and half just open brood cells, or open cells rather. But hopefully she'll get over there and do something on. So right now she's basically just tending to about 3 to 4 frames, which isn't really conducive to what I want to do. Nothing, just I think I'd moved this one last week. Well, there's a few eggs in there, but very, very spotty. Beautifully drawn comb on this side. Let's see what's on this one. So we got a bit of brood starting in here, so I'm gonna flip them so the nurse bees stay with it. What's on the other side? Nothing again, eh? Man. Just feels like I can't get this hive to go. It's better than it was last week, but not nearly as much as I'd like it to be. So we're pretty well done in here. So we got brood on this far side a little bit. So those bees will stay over there. All right. So we know the queen's in here. Just wonder if she's kind of almost a dud. Going on, I think, almost 4 weeks that we've had this nuke. So now we're on the 3rd hive here. So we're on this next hive. This is number 3. This one to me will tell me a lot if the hive that the camera's sitting on, number 2, is being stupid or not. Because they were pretty close to similar. So right off the hop I can see most of the bees are on this side. This is basically just mostly a honey frame. So we'll just set that down for now. This one's done nothing. Well, they've drawn out some useless comb. So we're going to pull that frame right out. That must have been, that was the frame we talked about in the last video that I couldn't find. Well, couldn't find it because I was looking in the wrong box. Some more nectar. So they're making honey all right, just they're not expanding yet from what I see. So I don't feel like tempting the other hives with this one. Put it back in the outside position. So there's, in the center of this one, I'm seeing some eggs, which is nice to see some eggs, but the fact that the bottom horseshoe is all honey opposed to the other way around is kind of concerning. What's on this thing? Anything? I don't see any eggs, but I'm going to flip it and put it so that the nurse bees are taking care of those eggs on this side, and hopefully they'll do something with that. Hey, me again. So that frame that we just pulled out and put back in, that third from the left, confirming with the last video, it was only a straight honey, there was nothing else in it. So it's nice seeing that they've now started to turn it into a hatchery for bees. Part of the brood chamber. On with the show. Okay. Nice brood chamber. Or nice brood frame, sorry. I can't think and talk and look around at the same time apparently. Got eggs in the center. Got a queen cell there, I don't see anything in it. there's an angry bee at me. Nice brood. Had to kill the bee. Oops. Alright, so I imagine the queen is in this section. I feel like I kind of made a boo-boo. So I'm going to go get a frame and stick it right in the center and hope they... Ooh, that's heavy. Heavy with what? Well, so far I'm seeing just pollen and nectar. That's about it. This side they're making comb. Not too bad for an outside frame, really. Just want to quickly add here, I flipped the one on the left, far left. It's full of honey for the one on the right that I'm putting in now, and it was completely empty. So they filled that half frame full of nectar within this one. I hope I see some brood on 7-day period. So that's actually pretty good. Let's see what this next one frame has. Brood or eggs or... Oh. Just punched full of brood. That's what I wanted to see. Well, that looks super nice. Alright, we're done on this hive. Let's go and get us a frame, plop it in there, and we're all done. Be back in a second. Actually, I had dumped out that pail that was sugar syrup, and on the bottom was some wet white sugar. So I thought, why not throw it on there? I've heard if you spray them with sugar water, they're more apt to jump on them quicker. So I thought, well, why not try something new? Let's see what the next video will bring. We'll try and remember that frame. Alright, time to check number 4. Number 4 is a hive that I got stung on. Only time. So I'm not going to bother going down into the lower brood chamber with this one. I just want to see if they've done anything. So this one and this one were drawn comb. These ones are all new. They glued them together. Haven't done anything. Haven't really done anything. I'd love to see the queen. Let me put this thing. Put some honey in that puppy. Not pile. Oh good, I'm starting to see a couple little eggs in here. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Oh great. Full of eggs. Is the queen up here? I don't believe I've ever seen the queen in this entire hive. So this is a drawn comb that I had gotten off a Mennonite. Not much on here for weight. This is another drawn comb from a local Mennonite beekeeper. Nothing really to speak of, but oh well. So we started drawing a little comb on this one. And they also started a little bit on this one too. Alright, so we're done. Now the queen's laying and doing things, so that's a good start. So yeah. So that pretty well will wrap this video up. I was eager to get into it, being as I thought that we might be I thought we'd be really packing in nectar. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, so I wanted to get into it and make sure things weren't getting carried away in those single brood chambers. But I am still a little bit concerned, I guess, about them. I feel like they will progress, but I just feel like we're falling way behind on them. So I'm not really sure if I should be stealing a couple of these frames of brood from the hives beside them and helping them along, or if it's kind of a sink or swim sort of a situation for that hive, whether it's at some point you have to pinch the queen and say you suck and make a new one. I don't know. We'll have to review footage from the last time and see what I thought. See what it was looking like last week. If it's just a matter that they need more bees to get going, well then we can kind of figure that out. But I don't know. The one hive was the second hive, number 2 hive. That's a single brood chamber. So like we got 1, it's a double brood chamber. 2 is a single, 3 is a single, and 4 is a double. So number 2, it had a lot of open cells that I don't know why the queen wasn't utilizing. I feel like a good queen open cells that didn't have lots of honey or didn't have lots of, like, there's just nothing there. So I'm gonna think on it, and I guess next week we'll see if there's a change or if I've made a decision on what I'm gonna do. But if I am in the area, I might try and swing by a couple of the local Mennonite beekeepers and see if I can't swindle off some more drawn comb off them. Because having seen how much that speeds things up, it'd be nice to have another dozen more frames would be nice. Especially on those singles. Get rid of everything that's subpar and give it optimal. Get in there and lay and assess in a week sort of thing. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll shut this off and we'll go back to other things on the homestead. Thinking of jumping on the sawmill. Anyways, bye for now, guys.